She was flying to speak about dignity when a stranger's bare foot landed on her armrest, inches from her face, as if her space didn't exist. Dr. Maya Ellison, a black psychologist headed to deliver a keynote on respect and trauma, sat frozen in her middle seat while a young white influencer treated her body like furniture. When she asked the woman to move, she was called uptight, dramatic, oversensitive. When she asked again, the woman laughed into her phone and said the words no one thought they'd hear at 30,000 feet. "It's not like I'm enslaving her. It's just a foot." The cabin went silent. Passengers watched. Some recorded. Most stayed quiet, trapped between discomfort and cowardice. But Maya had spent her whole life being told to shrink, to endure, to smile while being stepped on. And on this night, she made a choice that would change everyone on that plane. Subscribe right now and tell me where you're watching from, because what happens next will leave you breathless. Maya's alarm chimed at 4:30. She opened her eyes to the Atlanta hotel room and felt tired already. The ceiling fan circled above her. She had slept maybe 4 hours. She sat up and reached for her phone. 17 emails waited. 3 were from conference organizers reminding her about the keynote. She exhaled slowly and set the phone down. The shower water ran hot. She stood under it and let her shoulders drop. Today she would fly across the country to talk about dignity. The irony was not lost on her. She dried off and dressed carefully. A navy blazer, white blouse, simple gold earrings. Her reflection stared back from the mirror. 42 years looked back at her. She saw the lines around her eyes. She saw her mother's face in her own. Her mother had taught her to hold her head up. Maya's chest tightened. She missed her mother. The rideshare app pinged, 5 minutes away. She grabbed her carry-on and keynote folder. The hallway was silent. The elevator hummed down. Outside, the driver pulled up in a silver sedan. He smiled too wide when she opened the door. "Morning, sweetheart," he said. Maya felt the familiar sting. She was not his sweetheart. She was Dr. Ellison. She nodded and said nothing. The car merged into pre-dawn traffic. "Big trip?" he asked. "Work," she said. "What kind of work?" "I'm a psychologist." He whistled. "Smart lady. You married?" Maya's jaw tightened. She looked out the window. "I'd rather not chat." "Just being friendly, sweetheart." She closed her eyes. Her breath caught. This was how it always started. Small things. Tiny cuts. She had learned to carry them quietly. The airport appeared ahead. Bright lights, crowds. She thanked the driver and stepped out. He called after her. "Have a good one, sweetheart." She walked faster. Inside the terminal, the check-in kiosk beeped at her. She scanned her ID twice. The machine asked her to confirm her credit card. She confirmed it. The machine asked again. White woman behind her sighed loudly. Maya felt her face grow warm. She confirmed the card a 3rd time. The boarding pass finally printed. She grabbed it and moved toward security. The TSA agent studied her ID. His eyes found hers. He looked at the card. He looked at her face. He looked at the card again. "This you?" he asked. "Yes," Maya said. He handed it back slowly. She walked through the scanner. It beeped. They pulled her aside for additional screening. A female agent patted her down, while other passengers streamed past. Maya stood still. She had done this 100 times. When they finished, she gathered her things. Her hands shook slightly. She steadied them. The gate was far. She rolled her carry-on through the bright corridor. Her phone buzzed. A text from the conference organizer. "Can't wait to hear you speak on what respect costs the wounded." Maya's throat tightened. She stopped walking. Around her, travelers rushed past. She stood in the middle of the corridor and breathed. She thought about the keynote. She thought about all the words she would say. She wondered if words ever changed anything. Someone bumped her shoulder. "Excuse me," a voice said, impatient. Maya moved to the side. She started walking again. The gate was still far. She braced herself for another gauntlet of small tests. The gate area buzzed with early morning chaos. Maya found a seat near the windows. She pulled out her keynote notes. Her eyes scanned the opening paragraphs. Words about dignity, words about trauma, words about seeing people fully. Around her, travelers scrolled phones and sipped coffee. A baby cried. A man argued loudly on his cell. Maya tried to focus. The words on the page blurred slightly. A bright voice cut through the noise. "Oh my God, this lighting is so ugly." Maya glanced up. A young white woman stood near the charging station. She held her phone high. Her face filled the screen. She pouted and tilted her head. "Good morning, everyone," the woman said to her phone. "I'm at the airport and it's literally 5 in the morning and I look like a zombie. These red-eye flights are the worst." Maya looked back at her notes. The woman's voice continued. Bubbly. Performative. Maya felt tired just listening. "I'm flying to LA today for a brand event," the woman said. "Pray for me because I have to sit in economy. Can you imagine? Me in economy?" Maya's eyes found the woman again. She was young, maybe 24. Blonde hair pulled into a high ponytail. Designer athleisure. A large camera bag slung over her shoulder. The woman panned her phone around the gate. Maya saw herself briefly in the background. The woman didn't notice. She kept talking to her screen. "Look at all these sleepy people," the woman said. "Red-eye zombies everywhere." A man nearby chuckled. The woman beamed. She lowered her phone and checked her reflection in a compact mirror. She frowned at something. She reapplied lip gloss. Maya folded her notes. Her chest tightened. She recognized this type. Young. Entitled. The world was a backdrop for her performance. A voice crackled over the speaker. "We will now begin boarding for Flight 447 to Los Angeles." The woman squealed. She grabbed her bags and rushed toward the gate agent. Maya watched her argue with the agent about pre-boarding. The agent shook her head. The woman pouted but stepped aside. Maya gathered her things slowly. A Latino businessman in his 50s sat down in the seat she was leaving. He nodded politely. She nodded back. They said nothing. The line formed. Maya joined it. Her carry-on rolled smoothly behind her. She handed her boarding pass to the agent. The agent smiled. "Have a good flight, Dr. Ellison." Maya felt something shift in her expression. The agent had read her name, had said it correctly, had used her title. It was such a small thing. Her voice was soft when she spoke. "Thank you." She walked down the jetway. Behind her, she heard the young woman's voice again, still filming, still narrating her life. Maya's shoulders tightened. She had a feeling this flight would not be restful. The cabin smelled stale, recycled air and cleaning solution. Maya found her row, middle seat. She sighed. Of course, an elderly white woman with silver hair sat in the window seat. She looked up and smiled. Her eyes were kind. "Good morning, dear," the woman said. "Good morning," Maya said. "Let me help you with that." The woman started to stand. Maya shook her head. "I've got it. Thank you." Maya lifted her carry-on into the overhead bin. She settled into the middle seat. The elderly woman smiled again. "I'm Jeanette," she said. "Maya." "Lovely to meet you, Maya." The Latino businessman from the gate appeared. He gestured to the aisle seat. Maya stood to let him pass. He thanked her quietly. His voice was polite, but tired. He sat and immediately pulled out his laptop. Maya buckled her seatbelt. The cabin filled around them. Passengers shuffled past. Someone's bag hit Maya's shoulder. No apology came. She shifted closer to Jeanette. "First time to Los Angeles?" Jeanette asked. "No," Maya said. "I go for work sometimes." "What do you do?" "I'm a psychologist. I speak at conferences." Jeanette's eyes brightened. "How wonderful. I was a school teacher for 40 years. I always admired people in your field." Maya felt something warm in her chest. Jeanette's voice was genuine, not patronizing, not dismissive, just kind. "Teaching is important work," Maya said. "We try our best," Jeanette said. The businessman beside them typed rapidly. Maya glanced at his screen. Financial reports, charts. He noticed her looking and angled the laptop away. She understood. Everyone had their walls. A commotion erupted near the front of the plane. The young woman from the gate pushed down the aisle. Her camera bag knocked into seats. Her voice carried. "Excuse me. Coming through, sorry, oops." Maya watched her stumble past. The gay woman checked her boarding pass. She looked confused. She looked annoyed. She checked the seat numbers. Her seat was directly behind Maya. Maya's stomach dropped. She heard the woman huffing, heard her throwing bags around, heard her complaining. "Are you kidding me?" the woman said to no one. "This seat is so small. How is this legal?" She dropped into her seat. The impact jolted Maya's chair forward. Maya's breath caught. She gripped the armrest. "Sorry," the woman said. "Not sorry." Maya closed her eyes. She thought about the keynote. She thought about dignity. She thought about all the ways people stepped on each other. Her jaw tightened. She told herself to stay patient. Just a few hours. She could endure a few hours. The flight attendants began their safety demonstration. Maya tried to focus on their gestures. Behind her, the woman kicked the back of her seat. Once, twice. Maya's shoulders tensed. Jeanette glanced at her with concern. The engines roared. The plane pushed back from the gate. Maya exhaled slowly. She reminded herself that speaking up often made things worse. Silence was safer. She had learned that lesson many times. But something in her chest felt heavy. She wondered how much more she could carry. The plane climbed through clouds. The seatbelt sign dinged off. The cabin lights dimmed. Passengers settled into their seats. Maya tried to get comfortable. It was impossible. Behind her, the young woman shifted constantly. Her screen glowed bright. Maya could see the reflection in Jeanette's window. The woman was editing videos. Her own face filled the screen. She smiled and posed. She deleted clips and recorded new ones. Maya opened her folder. She tried to review her notes. The woman bumped her seat again. Maya's pen slipped. She picked it up. She breathed slowly. The woman's bag pressed against Maya's armrest. Maya shifted away. The bag followed. It bulged into her space. She could feel the hard edge of a camera against her elbow. She glanced at the businessman beside her. Tom. She'd heard Jeanette call him Tom. He was absorbed in his work. His fingers moved quickly across the keyboard. He seemed determined not to notice anything else. Maya understood that impulse. She felt it herself. The desire to shrink, to disappear, to avoid conflict. She had spent a lifetime perfecting that survival skill. The flight attendant appeared with the drink cart. The metal cart rattled down the aisle. The attendant was an Asian woman in her late 30s. Her name tag read Elena. Her smile was professional, but warm. "Something to drink?" Elena asked. "Water, please," Maya said. Elena handed her a plastic cup. Maya thanked her. She sipped the water. It was lukewarm. She drank it anyway. Behind her, the young woman called out, Excuse me. Hi, can I get a vodka tonic? Elena paused the cart. Of course. ID, please. The woman sighed loudly. She rummaged through her bag. She produced a driver's license. Elena checked it and prepared the drink. The woman took it without thanking her. Maya heard her sipping, heard her still tapping her phone, heard her laugh at something on her screen. The sound grated. Tom closed his laptop. He rubbed his eyes. He looked tired. Maya felt tired too. She wondered if everyone on this plane was running from something. The woman behind her made a phone call. Her voice rose above the cabin hum. Hey, babe. Yeah, I'm on the plane. No, it's awful. I'm in economy. Can you believe it? Everyone's all cramped and annoyed. Maya felt her face grow warm. She was not cramped and annoyed. She was trying to work. She was trying to prepare for something important. This woman treated the cabin as her personal stage. I'm sitting behind this older lady, the woman continued. She keeps glaring at me. I literally haven't done anything. People are so uptight on planes. Maya's chest tightened. She had not glared. She had barely looked. Her hands gripped the armrest. She wanted to turn around. She wanted to say something. But her throat closed. Jeanette leaned toward her. Her voice was low. Are you all right, dear? Maya nodded. I'm fine. But she was not fine. She felt her mother's voice in her head. Hold your head up, Maya. Don't let them see you break. Maya's breath caught. She missed her mother so much. The woman's voice droned on. Maya tried to tune it out. She tried to focus on her notes. The words swam on the page. She closed the folder. She closed her eyes. She told herself to rest. But rest would not come. Behind her, the woman laughed loudly at something on her phone. Her foot kicked Maya's seat again. Maya's eyes opened. The silence stretched. She stared at the seat in front of her and felt something old and familiar rise in her chest. The weight of being unseen. The weight of being stepped on. The weight her mother had carried. The weight every black woman she knew carried. Her jaw tightened. She wondered how much weight one person could hold before they broke. The seatbelt sign dinged off again. Passengers stirred. Some stood to stretch. Others reclined their seats. Maya stayed upright. She did not want to invade anyone's space. Behind her, the woman sighed dramatically. Maya heard rustling, heard the woman kicking off her shoes, the sound of fabric brushing fabric. Then Maya felt it. Something touched her armrest, something warm, something alive. She looked down. A bare foot rested on her armrest. Pale skin, red painted toenails. The foot settled comfortably. The toes flexed. Maya froze. Her breath caught. She stared at the foot. It was inches from her arm. She could smell lotion, could see the texture of the skin, could feel the casual disrespect radiating from it. Her heart pounded. She felt dizzy. This was not happening. This could not be happening. She turned slightly. She looked at the woman behind her. The woman was scrolling her phone. She did not look up. Her expression was bored, entitled. She treated Maya's space as if it belonged to her. Maya's voice came out quieter than she intended. Excuse me? The woman glanced up. Yeah? Could you please move your foot? The woman looked confused. She looked at her foot. She looked back at Maya. She laughed. Seriously? You're upset about my foot? It's my space, Maya said, and it's not appropriate. The woman rolled her eyes. Oh my God, you're super uptight. It's just a foot. It's on my armrest, Maya said. Her voice was steady, but her hands shook. Please move it. I'm just trying to get comfortable, the woman said. You're making such a big deal out of nothing. She did not move her foot. She looked back at her phone. Dismissed. Erased. Maya sat very still. Her chest tightened. Her eyes found Jeanette's. Jeanette's face was shocked, sympathetic, but she said nothing. Tom stared straight ahead. His jaw was tight, but he said nothing either. Maya looked down at the foot again. It was still there, still invading her space, still treating her body as furniture. She felt sick. She felt small. She felt the weight of every single time this had happened in different forms. White hands reaching for her hair without asking. White bodies pressing too close on trains. White voices demanding she move. White expectations that she shrink. White assumptions that her discomfort did not matter. Her throat burned. She wanted to scream. She wanted to cry. She wanted to rip that foot off her armrest and throw it back. But she did none of those things. She sat, frozen. She pressed her lips together. She felt the familiar urge to let it go. And she felt the equally familiar ache of being stepped on. Literally. Physically. Stepped on. Her mother's voice echoed. "Hold your head up, Maya." But how could she hold her head up when someone's foot was in her face? The woman laughed at something on her phone. The sound pierced Maya. She closed her eyes. She counted to 10. She told herself to breathe. She told herself this was not worth it. She told herself to stay quiet. But her thumb hovered over the call button. Her hand trembled. She thought about the keynote. She thought about all the words she would say about dignity, about respect, about the cost of silence. She pressed the button. The chime sounded. She waited. Her heart hammered. She had just crossed a line. There was no going back now. Elena appeared within moments. Her smile was automatic, professional. She leaned down slightly. "How can I help you?" she asked. Maya gestured toward the armrest. "This passenger has her foot on my armrest. I've asked her to move it. She refused." Elena's eyes found the foot. Something shifted in her expression. Surprise? Discomfort. She straightened. She looked at the woman behind Maya. "Ma'am, could you please lower your foot?" The woman sighed. "Are you serious? She called you over for this?" "Passengers need to respect each other's space," Elena said. Her voice was careful, diplomatic. "I'm just trying to get comfortable," the woman said. "She's freaking out over nothing. It's literally just my foot." Elena's smile tightened. "I understand you want to be comfortable, but this is her space. If you could please—" "Fine," the woman said. She pulled her foot down. She made a show of it. Dramatic? Martyred. "Happy now?" Maya said nothing. Elena nodded at her. "Thank you for letting me know." She walked away. The drink cart continued down the aisle. Maya exhaled. Her shoulders dropped slightly. She felt a flicker of relief, a flicker of vindication. The policy had worked. The system had responded. She opened her notes again. She tried to focus. Around her, the cabin hummed. Jeanette touched her hand briefly, a silent show of support. Maya felt grateful for that touch. Tom typed on his laptop. His face was carefully blank. Maya wondered what he was thinking. She wondered if he felt ashamed. She wondered if men ever felt ashamed of their silence. Behind her, the woman muttered. Maya could not hear the words, but she heard the tone. Resentful, angry, entitled. Minutes passed. 5, 10. The cabin settled back into its rhythm. Maya started to relax. She told herself it was over. She told herself she had stood up for herself. She told herself that was enough. Then she felt it again. The slow, deliberate pressure. The warm weight. The casual invasion. The foot slid back onto her armrest, slowly, confidently. The toes flexed. The woman shifted behind her. Maya heard her whisper something into her phone. Maya's breath caught. Her hands gripped her notes. The paper crumpled slightly. She stared at the foot. It was back. It had never really left. The woman was testing her, challenging her, asserting dominance. Maya's chest tightened. She felt humiliated, not just by the foot, by the realization that policy-level politeness had failed to protect her, that asking nicely had not been enough, that even when authority intervened, entitled people found ways to take what they wanted. She sat very still. She felt tears prick her eyes. She blinked them back. She would not cry. She would not give this woman that satisfaction. But inside, something was breaking. Something old and tender and tired. She thought about her keynote, about dignity, about respect, about the wounds that never fully healed. She thought about all the black women who had swallowed humiliation because speaking up meant danger. She thought about her mother, her grandmother, all the women who had no choice but to endure. But Maya had a choice. She had a voice. She had a platform. And yet here she sat, paralyzed, with a white woman's foot on her armrest. The irony was suffocating. Her jaw tightened. She felt something shift inside her. Something hard. Something necessary. She reached for the call button again. But this time, her hand did not tremble. The cabin had darkened further. Most passengers dozed. The hum of the engines filled the space. Maya sat rigid in her seat. The foot remained on her armrest. A constant reminder. A deliberate insult. She heard the woman behind her talking on her phone again. Her voice was low but carried. "No, seriously, this older lady is being so dramatic. I put my foot up for like 2 seconds and she called the flight attendant. Can you believe it?" Maya's hands clenched in her lap. Older lady, as if being 42 made her invisible, as if her age was an insult. "She's probably just lonely or something," the woman continued. "You know how some people are. They need attention." Maya felt her face grow hot. She focused on her breathing. In, out. In, out. Do not react. Do not give her power. But the words kept coming. "I mean, if she's so uncomfortable, maybe she should have flown first class. This is economy. We're all suffering here." A passenger across the aisle glanced over. Maya saw their eyes flicker with awareness, with discomfort. But they looked away quickly. No one wanted to be involved. No one wanted to make it their problem. Tom shifted beside her. His typing had stopped. His hands rested on his closed laptop. Maya could feel his tension, could sense his internal struggle. But he said nothing. His silence felt loud. The woman's voice grew slightly louder. "I'm not trying to be mean, but maybe it's a race thing. You know how some people are super sensitive about everything." The words hit Maya physically. Her stomach dropped. Her vision blurred. She could not breathe. The woman had said it, had named it, had weaponized it. "Maybe it's a race thing." Maya's chest tightened. Rage flooded through her. Not the hot, explosive kind. The cold, old, familiar kind. The kind that came from years of being told her pain was imaginary. Her discomfort was oversensitivity. Her boundaries were aggression. She heard movement. Felt someone nearby. A soft click. She glanced to the side. A passenger 2 rows up had their phone out. The camera was pointed toward her, toward the woman behind her. Recording. Maya's heart pounded. This was being documented. This humiliation was being captured. Part of her felt exposed, vulnerable, but another part felt a strange, fierce validation. Let them see. Let the world see exactly what this looked like. The woman kept talking. "It's not like I'm enslaving her or something, it's just a foot." The cabin fell utterly silent. Maya heard the words echo. Enslaving her. The casual, careless invocation of slavery, the dismissiveness, the cruelty, something broke inside Maya, not violently, quietly, the way a dam cracks before it bursts. She turned in her seat. Fully. She looked directly at the woman behind her. The woman met her eyes. For a moment she looked uncertain. Then her face hardened. Defensive. Entitled. Maya's voice was low. Controlled. "What did you just say?" The woman shrugged. "I said I'm not enslaving you. It's just a foot. You're acting like I'm torturing you." Every eye in the nearby rows turned toward them. Maya felt them watching, felt their discomfort, felt their curiosity, felt their judgment. She did not care anymore. "You put your foot on my body," Maya said. "On my space. I asked you to stop. You refused. You mocked me to your phone. And now you're comparing my objection to slavery?" The woman rolled her eyes. "Oh my God. I didn't mean it literally. You're twisting my words." "I'm repeating your words," Maya said. Tom's voice came quietly from beside her. "She did say that." Maya's eyes found his. He looked ashamed. But he had spoken. He had witnessed. The silence stretched between them, heavy, accusing. The woman huffed. "Whatever. You're all ganging up on me now. This is so typical." She pulled her foot down, dramatically, victimhood dripping from every gesture. She grabbed her phone. Maya heard her whisper into it. "You guys won't believe this. Some lady on this plane is literally harassing me. Watch how crazy this gets." Maya turned back around. Her hands shook. Her whole body shook. Jeanette reached over and squeezed her hand. The touch was brief. Motherly. Maya's throat tightened. She wanted to cry. She wanted to scream. She wanted to disappear. But she sat very still. She unbuckled her seatbelt. She pressed the call button again. She turned in her seat one more time. She really looked at the woman. Young, blonde, confident, completely unaware of the harm she caused. Maya thought about her keynote, about all the words she had prepared, about dignity and trauma and the cost of silence. She thought about her mother, about her grandmother, about every black woman who had been told to shrink and endure and smile. She thought, not this time. Elena appeared again. Her face showed concern, weariness. Maya met her eyes and held them. "I need to speak with the purser," Maya said. "This is not over." The woman behind her laughed. "Oh, here we go." Maya did not look at her. She kept her eyes on Elena. She waited. The cabin waited. Something was shifting, something irreversible. The plane hummed forward into the night, and Maya sat at the center of a storm that was just beginning to break. Orchestrated narrative structure and stylistic parameters for story continuation. The user wants me to continue the story. I'm at chapter 8, and now I need to write chapters 9 toward 16. Act 2, the middle. Let me check the structure. Act 2, toward 9 toward 16. Growth, deeper struggle, midpoint revelation. Following the outline. Chapter 9, Standing in the Isle of Eyes. Chapter 10, The line drawn. Chapter 11, The witness speaks. Chapter 12, The camera and the spin. Chapter 13, The second call to authority. Chapter 14, The cabin wakes up. Chapter 15, A small, fragile victory. Chapter 16, The message and the realization I need to maintain. Third person limited. Past tense. Max 20 words per sentence. Max 5 sentences per paragraph. 60-70% dialogue. 750 words per chapter. 5,000 characters. All the mandatory repetitive formulas, emotional rhythm, and cliffhangers. Let me continue from where we left off. Elena stood frozen for a moment. Her eyes darted between Maya and the woman behind her. Her professional smile faltered. She nodded slowly. "I'll get Eric," she said. "Our purser. Just Give me a moment. She walked towards the front galley. Her steps were quick, uncertain. Maya watched her go. The cabin felt charged now. Electric. Passengers who had been sleeping were waking up, noticing, leaning forward in their seats. The woman behind Maya huffed loudly. "This is ridiculous. You're making such a scene." Maya did not respond. She sat very still. Her breath caught. She counted her heartbeats. She reminded herself that she had every right to be respected. Every right to her own space, every right to be treated with dignity. Tom cleared his throat. His voice was low. "I'm sorry I didn't say something sooner." Maya glanced at him. His eyes found hers. They were filled with shame, with regret. She nodded once. She appreciated his words, but she also felt angry that it had taken this long, that he had waited until the moment became unbearable. Jeanette leaned closer. Her voice was gentle. "You're doing the right thing, dear." Maya's throat tightened. She wanted to believe that. But part of her wondered if speaking up would only make things worse, if she would be labeled difficult, aggressive. The angry black woman who couldn't take a joke. She had seen it happen before. To colleagues, to friends, to her mother. The world punished black women for having boundaries, for refusing to shrink, for insisting on their humanity. Elena returned with a white man in his mid-40s. He wore the purser's uniform. His name tag read Eric Dalton. His face was neutral, professional, but Maya could see the wariness in his eyes. "Good evening," he said. "I understand there's been an issue?" Maya felt the weight of every passenger's attention. The cabin was no longer dark and quiet. It was a stage. And she was the unwilling performer. Her voice was steady when she spoke. "I've asked this passenger multiple times to remove her foot from my armrest. She refused. When your flight attendant intervened, she complied briefly and then put it back. She's also been making comments on her phone about me, including comparing my objection to slavery." Eric's expression tightened. He looked at the woman behind Maya. "Is this accurate?" The woman's voice was high, defensive. "I was just trying to get comfortable. She's blowing everything out of proportion. I made a joke, and now she's acting like I committed a hate crime or something." "What exactly did you say?" Eric asked. The woman hesitated. Her eyes darted to the passengers watching, to the phone still recording. She realized suddenly that she was trapped. Her voice was quieter now. "I said I wasn't enslaving her, but I didn't mean anything by it. It was just... I was frustrated." Eric's jaw tightened. Something shifted in his expression. "That language is completely inappropriate. I know, I'm sorry, but she's being so dramatic about a foot." Maya felt rage surge through her. Dramatic, as if her pain was performance, as if being violated was exaggeration. She turned fully in her seat. Her eyes found the woman's. Her voice was low but clear. "You put your body on mine without consent. You dismissed my discomfort. You mocked me publicly, and when I objected, you invoked slavery. That is not dramatic. That is racist." The word hung in the air. Racist. The cabin seemed to hold its breath. The woman's face went pale, then red. Her mouth opened. Closed. Opened again. "I'm not racist," she said. "I have black friends." Someone behind them made a sound. Half laugh, half groan. The absurdity of the statement was not lost on anyone. Maya's chest tightened. She had heard those words before. They were armor, a shield against accountability. Eric held up his hand. "Let's not escalate this further. I think we all need to take a breath and—" "No," Maya said. Eric blinked. "Excuse me?" "I said no." Maya's voice was firm. "I'm not going to take a breath. I'm not going to de-escalate. I'm going to tell you what happened. And you're going to listen. And then you're going to decide whether your airline values my dignity or her comfort." The silence stretched. Eric looked uncomfortable. He glanced at Elena. Elena looked at the floor. Maya felt her hands shaking, but her voice did not shake. "I am a black woman traveling alone," she said. "This woman has physically invaded my space, mocked my objection, used slavery as a punchline, and your response is to ask me to calm down." Eric's face flushed. "That's not what I—" "That's exactly what you said," Tom interrupted. His voice was stronger now. "You told her to take a breath. You told her not to escalate. But she's not the one who escalated. She's the one who was harmed." Maya felt something shift in her chest. Gratitude. Surprise. Tom was speaking. Finally speaking. Eric looked between them. His discomfort was visible, palpable. "Look," he said, "I understand this is a sensitive situation. But we're on a plane. We need to maintain order. We can't have passengers fighting about race or politics or— For people like me," Maya said quietly, "the middle has always meant under someone else's foot." The words landed hard. Eric's mouth closed. His eyes found hers. Maya held his gaze. She would not look away, would not back down, would not make this easier for him. The woman behind her started crying. Soft. Theatrical. "I didn't mean to hurt anyone. I just wanted to be comfortable." Jeanette's voice cut through the false tears. "Then you should have listened when she asked you to stop." Maya's breath caught. Jeanette was speaking now, too. This elderly white woman was using her voice, her authority, her whiteness, to support the truth. Maya felt tears prick her own eyes. Eric exhaled slowly. He looked tired, defeated. "I need to see evidence. Did anyone witness what happened?" Several hands went up. Maya counted them. 5, 6, 7. Tom raised his hand. Jeanette raised hers. The passenger with the recording phone stood slightly. "I have video," the passenger said. "I started recording when I heard her say the slavery comment." Eric's face went pale. Video. Documented evidence. The thing that made everything real in this digital age. He nodded slowly. "Can I see it?" The passenger handed over their phone. Eric watched the screen. Elena leaned in to watch too. Maya could not see what they were seeing, but she saw their faces change, saw Eric's jaw tighten, saw Elena's eyes widen. The woman behind Maya started to stand. "Let me see. That's me. You can't just record me without—" "Sit down," Eric said. His voice was sharp now, authoritative. The woman sat, her face crumbled. She looked young suddenly, vulnerable, scared. Eric handed the phone back. He looked at Maya. His voice was careful. "I apologize. This should not have happened. We will be filing a report, and there will be consequences." Maya felt something loosen in her chest. Not relief. Not quite, but something close to vindication. Small. Fragile. She nodded. "Thank you," she said. Eric turned to the woman. "Ms. Hart." "How do you know my name?" the woman interrupted. "It's on your boarding pass," Eric said. "Ms. Hart, your behavior violates our passenger conduct policy. You will be issued a formal warning. Depending on the content of this video and the report, you may face additional consequences, including being banned from future flights." The woman's voice rose. "You're ruining my life over a foot." "I'm enforcing our policies," Eric said. "You were asked repeatedly to respect another passenger's space. You refused. You made racially insensitive comments. That is unacceptable." "I said I was sorry." "Apologies are important," Eric said, "but they don't erase what happened." He looked at Maya again. "Is there anything else you need?" Maya felt tired suddenly. Bone-deep tired. She shook her head. "I just want to be left alone." "Understood." Eric nodded to Elena. They walked back toward the galley. The cabin slowly began to settle. But it was not the same silence as before. This silence was aware, awake, changed. The woman behind Maya was still crying. Maya heard her whisper into her phone. "I didn't mean it. I swear I didn't mean it. But they're all against me now." Maya closed her eyes. She felt Tom's hand briefly touch her shoulder. Felt Jeanette squeeze her hand again. She felt the support. But she also felt the exhaustion, the cost of standing up, of refusing to be stepped on. Her chest tightened. She thought about the keynote, about all the words she had prepared. She wondered if she would even be able to speak them tomorrow, if she would have any voice left after tonight. Her throat burned. She swallowed hard. The plane hummed forward through the darkness, and Maya sat at the center of a fragile, incomplete victory, wondering if justice was always this small, this hard-won, this exhausting. The cabin settled into an uneasy quiet. Passengers whispered to each other. Maya heard fragments of conversation, some supportive, some skeptical, some simply curious. She kept her eyes closed. She did not want to see their faces. Tom had returned to his laptop, but he was not working. His screen was dark. He stared at it blankly. Maya could feel his discomfort, his ongoing shame. She appreciated that he had spoken up, but she also knew it had taken too long. Jeanette had pulled out a book, but she was not reading. She held it open in her lap. Her eyes were on Maya, protective, maternal. Maya felt grateful for her presence, for her quiet solidarity. Behind her, the woman had stopped crying, but Maya could hear her breathing, rapid, shallow, the breathing of someone panicking. Part of Maya felt sympathy. The woman was young, foolish, unaware of the harm she caused. But sympathy did not erase what had happened, did not undo the humiliation, did not repair the violation. Maya's jaw tightened. She thought about all the times people expected her to forgive quickly, to make peace, to smooth things over. Black women were always expected to be gracious, to absorb insults and bounce back with smiles, to make white people feel better about their mistakes. Maya was tired of that expectation, tired of being the emotional caretaker of people who harmed her. Her phone buzzed in her pocket. She pulled it out. A text from her best friend. "Safe travels. Can't wait to hear how the keynote goes." Maya stared at the message. Her eyes burned. She did not know how to respond. How could she give a keynote on dignity when she felt so undignified? How could she speak about respect when she had just been disrespected at 30,000 feet? She typed slowly. "Flight has been difficult. Will call you when I land." She put the phone away. Her hands were still shaking. She pressed them together in her lap. She breathed deeply. She reminded herself that she had done the right thing, that speaking up mattered, that silence would have been worse. But it did not feel like victory. It felt like survival. Barely. Elena appeared again. She carried a bottle of water and a small package of cookies. She offered them to Maya. Her voice was soft. "I thought you might need these." Maya took them. "Thank you." Elena hesitated. Something shifted in her expression. "I'm sorry I didn't take you seriously earlier. I should have." Maya met her eyes. Elena looked genuinely remorseful, uncomfortable. Her face was flushed. Maya nodded slowly. "You wanted to keep the peace," Maya said. "I understand that impulse. But keeping the peace isn't always the same as doing what's right," Elena said. Maya's throat tightened. Those words meant something. Coming from a flight attendant, someone with institutional authority, someone who had chosen policy over justice until justice became unavoidable. "No," Maya agreed. "It's not." Elena nodded. She looked at the woman behind Maya, then back at Maya. "For what it's worth, I believe you, and I'm glad you spoke up." She walked away. Maya opened the water bottle. She drank deeply. The cookies sat untouched in her lap. She was not hungry. She was not thirsty. She was just tired. Tom cleared his throat. "Can I say something?" Maya looked at him. His eyes found hers. They were dark with emotion. Shame, regret, something else. Determination. "I have 2 daughters," he said. 15 and 17. I tell them all the time to speak up when something's wrong, to not let people disrespect them. But then I sit here and watch someone disrespect you and I say nothing. I'm a hypocrite." Maya felt something soften in her chest. "You spoke up eventually." "Too late," Tom said. "Way too late. And I'm sorry." "Why did you wait?" Maya asked. Not accusatory, just curious, genuinely wanting to understand. Tom exhaled slowly. "I was afraid. Afraid of making it worse. Afraid of saying the wrong thing. Afraid of being the white guy who makes it about himself. So I said nothing. And that was worse than any of those fears." Maya nodded. She understood that paralysis, that fear. But she also knew that fear was a luxury. She did not get to choose silence without consequences. Her silence meant her erasure. Tom's silence meant his comfort. "Thank you for telling me," she said. "I'll do better," Tom said. "Next time I'll speak up sooner." "I believe you," Maya said, and she did. She saw the sincerity in his face, the determination. She hoped it would last beyond this flight, beyond this moment. But she had learned not to expect too much from promises made in crisis. Jeanette leaned over. Her voice was gentle. "You were very brave, dear." Maya shook her head. "I was just tired of being stepped on." "That's what bravery is," Jeanette said. "Being tired of something and choosing to act anyway." Maya's breath caught. Those words settled in her chest. Heavy. True. She felt tears threaten again. She blinked them back. Jeanette squeezed her hand once more. "I wish I had done more," Jeanette said. "Earlier. I should have said something when I saw her foot on your armrest, but I convinced myself it wasn't my business, that someone else would handle it. I'm ashamed of that." Maya felt gratitude swell in her chest. These people were owning their silence, their complicity. It did not erase what happened. But it mattered. Their accountability mattered. "You spoke up when it counted," Maya said. "That matters too." The plane hit a small pocket of turbulence. The cabin shuddered. Drinks rattled. A child somewhere behind them whimpered. The seatbelt sign dinged on. Everyone settled back into their seats. Maya stared at the seat in front of her. She felt exhausted, emotionally drained. But she also felt something else, something harder to name. Not quite pride, not quite relief. Maybe just the knowledge that she had not disappeared, had not been erased, had refused to be stepped on. Her phone buzzed again. She glanced at the screen. A notification from the conference app. "Dr. Ellison, your keynote is scheduled for 9 a.m. tomorrow. Room capacity 500. We're excited to hear from you." 500 people. 500 faces. All waiting to hear her speak about dignity, about trauma, about the cost of silence. Maya closed her eyes. She thought about what she would say, how she would begin, whether she would tell them about tonight. Behind her, she heard the woman's voice, quiet now, broken. "I didn't mean to hurt anyone, I really didn't." Maya did not turn around. She did not respond. She sat very still. She thought about intention versus impact, about how harm happened whether someone meant it or not, about how apologies were important but insufficient. The turbulence passed. The seatbelt sign stayed on. The plane pushed forward through the night, and Maya sat at the center of an incomplete reckoning, wondering what justice looked like when the harm was both small and enormous, both ordinary and historic, both personal and systemic. Her chest tightened. She wondered if she would ever stop carrying this weight, if any black woman ever stopped carrying it. She thought about her mother, her grandmother, all the women before her who had swallowed humiliation because they had no other choice. At least tonight she had chosen differently. At least tonight she had spoken. Her jaw tightened. She told herself that had to be enough, even if it felt like so little, even if it cost so much. It had to be enough. The minutes stretched. The cabin remained quiet. Most passengers had given up on sleep. They sat awake, restless. The energy had changed. Something had been exposed, something uncomfortable. No one could pretend anymore. Maya scrolled through her phone. She opened her notes app. She reread her keynote outline. The words felt hollow now, abstract. She had written about dignity in the safety of her office, in the theoretical space of academic work. But tonight she had lived it, had fought for it, had paid the cost of demanding it. She wondered if her keynote would be different now, more real, more raw, or if she would polish it back to professional smoothness, hide the cracks, perform composure. She did not know yet. Tom shifted beside her. He pulled out his own phone, typed something, deleted it, typed again. Maya glanced at his screen. He was composing an email to someone. She saw fragments. Witnessed something disturbing today. Reminded me of my own silence. Need to do better. Maya felt something warm in her chest. He was processing, reflecting, committing to change. She hoped it was genuine, hoped it would last. But she had seen too many people make promises in moments of shame that evaporated in the safety of distance. Jeanette had put her book away. She stared out the window. The night was black. No stars visible. Just darkness. Maya followed her gaze. The darkness felt appropriate, heavy, matching the mood of the cabin. I taught for 40 years, Jeanette said suddenly. Her voice was soft. I had students of all backgrounds. I always thought I treated everyone the same. But now I wonder if the same was good enough. If I should have seen more, done more. Maya looked at her. Jeanette's eyes were wet. Her face was lined with age and something else. Regret. Understanding. The kind that came too late but still mattered. Did you have black students? Maya asked gently. Many, Jeanette said. Beautiful, brilliant children. And I loved them. I truly did. But I don't know if I protected them enough. If I spoke up when other teachers said dismissive things. If I challenged parents who had low expectations. I stayed quiet sometimes, to keep the peace, to avoid conflict. That's a common choice, Maya said. It's a cowardly choice, Jeanette said. Her voice was firm. And I'm ashamed of it now. Maya felt her throat tighten. This woman's honesty was painful, valuable. She reached over and touched Jeanette's hand. You're speaking up now. Too late for most of them, Jeanette said. But maybe not too late for me. To learn, to change. They sat in silence for a moment. Maya felt the weight of Jeanette's words. The weight of all the moments that could have been different. All the times people could have spoken up and didn't. All the small silences that added up to enormous harm. Behind her, the woman was on her phone again. Maya heard the soft sound of video playing. She glanced back. The woman was watching herself, watching the video someone had recorded. Her face was illuminated by the screen. Her expression was stricken, horrified. Maya watched her watch herself, saw the moment recognition dawned. The moment the woman saw herself through other eyes, saw her dismissiveness, her cruelty, her casual racism. The woman's hand covered her mouth. She made a small sound, a gasp, a sob. Maya turned back around. She felt something complicated. Not satisfaction. Not quite sympathy. Something in between. The woman was having a reckoning. A painful one. Whether it would change her remained to be seen. Elena walked down the aisle again. She was checking on passengers, making sure everyone was settled. She stopped at Maya's row. Her eyes found Maya's. Something passed between them. Understanding. Solidarity. The acknowledgement of a shared burden. "How are you doing?" Elena asked. "Tired," Maya said honestly. "I can imagine." Elena hesitated. Then she said something quietly. Something she should not say. Something that broke protocol. "I saw your name on the manifest. Dr. Maya Ellison. I looked you up during my break. I know who you are, what you do, and I'm even more ashamed that I didn't listen to you immediately." Maya felt her breath catch. Elena knew, had known, or at least had discovered, that she was not just a random passenger, that she was an expert in exactly what had unfolded tonight, that her work was literally about dignity and trauma. "You couldn't have known earlier," Maya said. "But I should have listened to you regardless," Elena said. "Your title shouldn't matter. Your expertise shouldn't matter. You're a human being who was being disrespected. That should have been enough." Maya's eyes burned. Those words, that acknowledgement. It mattered so much. Her voice was thick when she spoke. "Thank you." Elena nodded. She glanced at the woman behind Maya, then back at Maya. "Would you be willing to speak, to address what happened? Not as a victim. As the expert you are, I think people need to hear from you." Maya's stomach dropped. Speak? To the cabin? Expose herself even more? Make herself even more vulnerable? Her hands gripped the armrest. Her chest tightened. But then she thought about the keynote, about the 500 people waiting to hear her tomorrow. If she could not speak to 50 people on this plane, how could she speak to 500? If she could not be honest here, in this moment, how could she be honest anywhere? Her jaw tightened. She looked at Elena. She thought about her mother, about her grandmother, about all the black women who had never been given a platform, a voice, a chance to speak their truth in real time. She thought about the young black girls who might hear about this moment, who might learn that speaking up was possible, that dignity was non-negotiable, that their voices mattered. She nodded slowly. "Yes, I'll speak." Elena's face flooded with relief, with gratitude. "Thank you. Let me talk to Eric." She walked away. Tom looked at Maya. His eyes were wide. "Are you sure?" Maya exhaled. "No, but I'm doing it anyway." Jeanette squeezed her hand. "We're with you, dear." Maya felt the weight of what was coming. The exposure, the vulnerability, the risk. But she also felt something else. Something that had been missing all night. Agency, choice, power. Not the power to control others, but the power to name what had happened, to speak truth, to refuse erasure. Her phone buzzed again. She glanced down. The text from her friend. "Praying for you. You've got this." Maya's throat tightened. She did not know if she had this, but she was about to find out. The plane hummed forward. The cabin waited. And Maya prepared to step into the most important speech of her life. Not tomorrow in a conference room, but tonight. In this cramped airplane, at 30,000 feet, where her dignity had been tested and her voice had become unavoidable. Eric stood at the front of the cabin. He held the microphone from the PA system. His voice crackled through the speakers. "Good evening, everyone. I apologize for the interruption. As some of you are aware, there was an incident earlier in the flight. We take all passenger conduct issues seriously, and we believe it's important to address what happened, not to shame anyone, but to learn. and to do better. The cabin was utterly silent. Every passenger was awake now, listening. Maya's heart pounded. She felt dizzy, nauseous, but she also felt clear, focused. This was her moment, her choice, her power. Dr. Maya Ellison has agreed to speak with us, Eric continued. She is a psychologist and expert on dignity and racial trauma, and she was the passenger who was disrespected tonight. I've asked her to share her perspective, not because she owes us anything, but because we need to hear it. He handed the microphone to Elena. Elena walked down the aisle toward Maya. Every eye followed her. Maya stood slowly. Her legs shook. Jeanette touched her hand one more time. Tom nodded at her. His face was serious, supportive. Elena handed Maya the microphone. Their eyes met. Elena mouthed, "Thank you." Maya took the microphone. It was heavier than she expected. She stood in the aisle. The plane hummed around her. She could feel the engines, could feel the movement, could feel every single person's attention focused on her. She thought about her keynote, about all the polished words she had prepared. She let them go. This was not a keynote. This was not a performance. This was just truth. Raw, immediate, necessary. She lifted the microphone. Her voice was steady when she spoke. My name is Dr. Maya Ellison. Earlier tonight, another passenger put her bare foot on my armrest. When I asked her to remove it, she refused. When I persisted, she mocked me. And when I insisted, she made comments about slavery. She paused. Let the words land. Heard someone gasp. Heard someone whisper. She continued. Some of you might think this is a small thing. Just a foot. Just a comment. Just a misunderstanding. But for people who have been told their entire lives to shrink, to endure, to stay polite while being disrespected, nothing is small. Every invasion of space is historic. Every dismissal is generational. Every just is a denial. Her voice was stronger now. The fear was falling away. She was in her element, speaking truth, naming harm, refusing to minimize. I am traveling to Los Angeles to give a keynote on dignity and racial trauma. The irony is not lost on me, that I was preparing to speak about respect while being disrespected, that I was reviewing notes about boundaries while my boundaries were being violated, that I was thinking about all the black women who came before me, who had to swallow humiliation while I was being asked to do the same thing. Tom's eyes were wet. Jeanette was crying openly. Other passengers were leaning forward, hanging on every word. Maya's chest tightened, but she kept going. This is not about one person's mistake. This is about a pattern, a history, a system that tells some people their comfort matters more than other people's dignity. That tells some people they can take up space without consequence, while other people must shrink to survive. She looked around the cabin. At all the faces, white, black, brown, Asian, young, old, all watching, all listening, all bearing witness. When I stood up tonight, I wasn't just standing up for myself. I was standing up for my mother, who endured worse, for my grandmother, who had no voice at all, for every black woman who has been told that her pain doesn't matter, that her boundaries are optional, that her humanity is debatable. Her voice cracked slightly. She steadied it. She would not break. Not here, not now. She kept going. I don't know what most of you were thinking when this happened. Maybe some of you noticed and stayed silent. Maybe some of you didn't notice at all. Maybe some of you wanted to help but didn't know how. I understand all of that. But I need you to understand something too. She paused. The silence stretched, heavy, waiting. Silence is a choice, and that choice has consequences. When you watch someone being harmed and say nothing, you are choosing comfort over justice. You are choosing peace over dignity. You are choosing to protect yourself instead of protecting your neighbor. Someone in the back of the cabin said, "Amen." Maya felt something shift in her chest. Support, agreement, solidarity. She continued, "I'm not asking anyone to be perfect. I'm asking people to be brave, to speak up when something is wrong, to use whatever privilege or power they have to stand with people who have less, to refuse to be bystanders when someone's humanity is being violated." She looked directly at the woman behind her. The woman was crying. Her face was blotchy. Her eyes were red. Maya's voice softened slightly, but did not lose its strength. "And to the person who harmed me tonight, I want you to understand something. Your apology matters. Your remorse matters. But neither of those things undo what happened. They don't erase my humiliation. They don't repair the harm. What matters now is what you do next, how you change, who you become when no one is watching." The woman nodded. She was sobbing now. Maya did not look away, did not let her off the hook, but also did not destroy her. There was a balance, a mercy with edges. Maya turned back to the rest of the cabin. "I didn't want to speak tonight. I wanted to sit quietly and get through this flight and give my prepared keynote tomorrow and go home. But I've learned that sometimes the most important moments are the ones we don't choose. The ones that choose us." Her breath caught. She was almost done. She could feel it, the culmination, the completion. "So I'm asking all of you to remember tonight. Remember what happened. Remember how it felt. Remember that dignity is not a luxury. It's not a privilege. It's a basic human right. And every time we stay silent when someone is being dehumanized, we are stealing that right from them." She lowered the microphone. Her hands shook, her whole body shook, but her voice had not shaken, not once. She had spoken her truth, had named the harm, had refused to shrink. Her eyes found Elena's. Elena was crying. So was Eric. So were half the passengers in the cabin. A man in the back row stood up. He started clapping. Slowly, deliberately, others joined. One by one, the cabin filled with applause. Not loud, not celebratory, but steady, respectful, acknowledging. Maya felt tears stream down her face. She could not stop them anymore. She did not try. She handed the microphone back to Elena. Elena pulled her into a brief, tight hug, whispered, "Thank you," into her ear. Maya walked back to her seat. Tom and Jeanette stood to let her pass. Tom gripped her shoulder. Jeanette kissed her cheek. Maya sat down. She felt emptied, exhausted, but also somehow fuller than she had been before. The applause faded. The cabin settled. Someone in the middle rows asked quietly, "Who are you?" Maya's throat was too tight to answer, but she heard Elena's voice. Clear. Proud. "That's Dr. Maya Ellison, and you should remember her name." Maya sat in her seat. Her chest rose and fell rapidly. The applause had stopped, but the silence that followed was different. Aware. Changed. She felt Jeanette's hand on her arm, felt Tom's presence beside her. Protective. Solid. Her phone lit up. A notification. Someone had posted about the flight. She saw the preview. "Witnessing something powerful on Flight 447. Dr. Maya Ellison just taught us all a lesson in dignity." Maya's stomach twisted. It was already online, already spreading. She felt exposed, vulnerable, but also strangely relieved. Let the world see. Let them know what happened here. Let them witness truth spoken in real time. Behind her, the woman was still crying, but softer now, quieter. Maya heard her whisper into her phone. "I need to tell you something. I messed up. Really badly." Elena appeared beside Maya's seat. She crouched down. Her voice was low. "That was extraordinary. Thank you." Maya nodded. She could not speak yet. Her throat was too tight. Elena squeezed her hand and moved on. The cabin was stirring now. Passengers were talking quietly, processing, reflecting. A woman across the aisle leaned forward. She was black, maybe in her 60s. Her eyes were wet. "Thank you, sister. You spoke for all of us." Maya felt something break open in her chest. Gratitude, recognition, solidarity. She nodded at the woman. The woman nodded back. No more words were needed. They understood each other completely. Tom cleared his throat. "I recorded your speech on my phone. I hope that's okay. I thought my daughter should hear it." Maya looked at him. His face was sincere, hopeful. She thought about his daughters, 15 and 17, learning about the world, learning how to navigate it. She nodded slowly. "That's okay," she said. "Show them." "I will," Tom said. "And I'll tell them about tonight, about how I stayed silent too long, about how I need to do better." Jeanette wiped her eyes. "I'm going to tell my grandchildren, too, about what I witnessed, about what you taught us." Maya felt overwhelmed suddenly by their words, their promises, their commitments to change. She wanted to believe them, wanted to trust that this moment would ripple outward, would create real transformation. But she had lived too long to be naive. Change was slow, fragile, easily forgotten. People made promises in crisis that evaporated in comfort. She hoped these promises would be different. But hope was not certainty. Eric's voice came over the PA system again. "Thank you, Dr. Ellison, for your courage and your words. We will be landing in Los Angeles in approximately 90 minutes. Please remain seated with your seatbelts fastened." 90 minutes. Maya felt exhausted just thinking about it. She wanted to sleep, wanted to disappear into unconsciousness. But her mind was racing, replaying everything, analyzing, questioning. Had she said too much? Too little? Had she been too harsh? Too soft? Had she made things better or worse? She did not know. She could not know. Not yet. Her phone buzzed again. Multiple notifications now. People were sharing the story, commenting, some supportive, some critical, some asking questions. Maya put her phone on airplane mode. She could not handle it right now, could not process other people's opinions. She needed to focus on herself, on her own feelings, on the keynote that awaited her in less than 12 hours. She pulled out her notes again, stared at them. The words felt different now, more real, more urgent, more necessary. She started making changes, crossing out sentences, adding new ones, incorporating what had happened tonight, making it concrete, making it visceral, making it impossible to ignore. Tom watched her work. "Are you going to talk about this in your keynote?" Maya paused. Her pen hovered over the page. "I don't know yet. Maybe. Probably." "You should," Tom said. "People need to hear it." "People need to hear a lot of things," Maya said. "The question is whether they'll listen." Jeanette leaned over. "Some will, and that's better than none." Maya's throat tightened. Jeanette was right. Some was better than none. Progress was not perfection. Change was not immediate. But every voice raised mattered. Every truth spoken created space for more truth. She went back to her notes. Behind her, the woman's crying had stopped. Maya heard rustling, heard the woman moving, heard her phone camera click on. Maya tensed. What was she doing now? She heard the woman's voice. Different now, stripped of performance. Raw, real. "Hey everyone, I need to talk to you about something that happened on this flight. Something I did, something I'm ashamed of." Maya's eyes widened. She glanced at Tom. He was listening too. His expression was surprised, cautious. The woman continued. "I disrespected another passenger tonight, Dr. Maya Ellison. I put my foot on her armrest. I ignored her when she asked me to stop. I made jokes about slavery, and I dismissed her pain as sensitivity." The cabin was listening now. Everyone within earshot had stopped moving. stopped talking. They were hearing a confession, a real one, not curated, not calculated, just honest. I've spent the last hour watching video of myself, seeing how I acted, hearing what I said, and I'm horrified. I'm disgusted with myself, because that person on the screen is me, and I don't want to be her anymore. Maya felt her breath catch. This was not the apology she had expected. This was deeper, harder, more vulnerable. The woman was not trying to save her image. She was trying to save herself. Dr. Ellison just spoke to this plane about dignity and racism and the cost of silence. And everything she said is true. I was racist tonight. I was cruel. I was entitled. And I'm sorry. Maya heard the woman's voice crack, heard her crying again, but this time it sounded different. Not theatrical, not performative, just broken. I'm not asking for sympathy. I'm not asking for forgiveness. I'm just telling the truth. Because Dr. Ellison is right. What matters now is what I do next, how I change, who I become. The woman paused. Maya heard her breathing, heard the cabin breathing with her, waiting. So I'm going to start by being honest. With you. With myself. With everyone. I hurt someone tonight. I hurt Dr. Ellison, and I'm going to spend a long time thinking about why. About what made me think her space was mine to take. Her boundaries were mine to cross. Her dignity was mine to dismiss. Another pause. Longer this time. Then the woman's voice again. Quieter now. Almost a whisper. Dr. Ellison, if you can hear me, I'm sorry. I know that's not enough. But it's all I have right now. I'm sorry. And I'm going to try to be better. I promise. The video ended. The cabin stayed silent. Maya sat very still. Her hands gripped her notes. Her eyes burned with tears. She had not expected this, had not expected genuine accountability, had not expected the woman to strip herself bare like that. Tom whispered, "Wow." Jeanette nodded. That took courage. Maya did not know what to think. Part of her felt moved, touched by the rawness of the apology. Part of her felt suspicious, wondering if it was genuine or strategic. Part of her felt tired. So tired of having to evaluate white people's sincerity. But another part of her felt something else, something unexpected, hope, fragile, tentative, but real. Maybe the woman could change. Maybe this moment would transform her. Maybe pain could lead to growth instead of defensiveness. Elena appeared again. She crouched beside Maya's seat. "Did you hear that?" Maya nodded. Elena's eyes were wet. "I think she meant it. I think she really understood." "Maybe," Maya said carefully. "Time will tell." "What are you going to do?" Elena asked. "Are you going to talk to her?" Maya's stomach twisted. She did not want to talk to the woman, did not want to comfort her or absolve her or make her feel better, but she also knew that silence now would send a message. That the woman's apology did not matter. That change was impossible. She thought about her work, about all the research on accountability and repair, about how real transformation required both confrontation and connection, about how justice was not just punishment, but possibility. Her jaw tightened. She did not want to do this, but maybe doing what was right was not supposed to feel comfortable. Maybe that was the whole point. She unbuckled her seatbelt. Tom looked at her with concern. "Are you sure?" "No," Maya said, "but I'm doing it anyway." She stood. Her legs were shaky. She turned toward the woman's seat. The woman looked up. Her face was swollen from crying. Her eyes were red. She looked young, scared, human. Maya's voice was low, measured. Not cruel, but not gentle either. "I heard your video." The woman nodded. She could not seem to speak. Maya continued. Apologies are not tools to save your image. They're invitations to repair what was broken. You need to decide what kind of person you want to be when no camera is watching, when no one is holding you accountable, when you're alone with yourself. The woman's voice was hoarse. What should I do? Maya felt tired suddenly. It was not her job to fix this woman, not her responsibility to guide her transformation. But she also knew that refusing to engage would leave them both stuck. The woman in shame, Maya in resentment. She exhaled slowly. Tell the truth. To the people on this plane. To whoever follows you online. Don't spin it. Don't minimize it. Don't make excuses. Just tell the truth about what you did and why it was wrong. And then what? The woman asked. And then you listen. You learn. You change. You use whatever platform you have to educate instead of entertain. You become someone who makes the world safer instead of more dangerous. The woman nodded. Tears streamed down her face. I'm so sorry, I really am. Maya met her eyes, held them. I know, but sorry is just the beginning, not the end. She turned and walked back to her seat. Her heart pounded, her hands shook. She sat down between Tom and Jeanette. They both looked at her with something close to awe. That was extraordinary, Tom said. That was mercy, Jeanette said softly. Maya shook her head. That was boundaries. Mercy with edges. She doesn't get absolution. She gets possibility. What she does with it is up to her. She picked up her notes. She added one more line. Justice is not clean or quick, but every time someone chooses to step off another person's dignity, the world tilts a little more toward wholeness. Her hand trembled as she wrote. But the words were true. She felt them in her bones. Behind her, she heard the woman recording another video. This time addressing her followers, telling them what happened, taking full responsibility. No excuses, no spin. Maya listened. She did not turn around, but she listened. And part of her felt something shift. Not forgiveness, not quite, but something like acknowledgement. The woman was trying. Really trying. Whether it would last remained to be seen. The plane hummed forward through the darkness. The cabin had settled into a different kind of quiet now, not tense, not fearful, but thoughtful, reflective, changed. Maya closed her eyes. She let herself rest. Just for a moment, just enough to gather strength for what was coming, the landing, the conference, the keynote, the inevitable questions and comments and scrutiny. But for now, in this moment, she let herself simply be. A black woman who had refused to be stepped on, who had spoken her truth, who had stood in her dignity even when it cost her comfort, even when it cost her safety, even when it cost her peace. She felt Jeanette's hand find hers, felt Tom's solid presence beside her, felt the support of strangers who had witnessed and were changed by what they saw. Her chest tightened, not with pain this time, but with something else. Not quite hope, not quite healing, but maybe the beginning of both. Her breath caught. She exhaled slowly. The plane pushed forward. And Maya rested in the knowledge that she had done what her mother would have been proud of. She had held her head up. And she had not broken. The captain's voice crackled over the PA system. Flight attendants, prepare for landing. Maya opened her eyes. She had dozed briefly, maybe 20 minutes. Her body felt heavy. Her mind felt clearer. The cabin was stirring. Passengers were sitting up, stretching, gathering their belongings. Outside the window, lights appeared below. Los Angeles. The city sprawled beneath them. Endless. Glittering. Maya felt her stomach tighten. In a few hours, she would stand on a stage, would speak to 500 people, would try to find words adequate to what she knew. Tom was putting away his laptop. Jeanette was adjusting her seatbelt. Behind her, Maya heard the woman moving, packing her things. The energy between them had shifted. Not friendly, but not hostile either. Something like mutual recognition. Elena walked down the aisle one final time. She stopped at Maya's row. Her eyes found Maya's. "Thank you again, for everything. You changed this flight. You changed us." Maya nodded. Her throat was too tight to speak. Elena smiled and moved on. The plane descended. Maya felt the pressure in her ears, felt the shift of gravity, felt the inevitable pull toward Earth. The wheels touched down. Smooth. Controlled. The plane taxied toward the gate. Passengers applauded, not for the landing, for something else, for survival, for making it through, for being changed. The seatbelt sign dinged off. Everyone stood at once. The usual scramble for overhead bins, for carry-ons, for escape. Maya stood slowly. Her legs were stiff. Her body ached. She had been holding tension for hours. Tom pulled down her carry-on for her. He handed it to her carefully. "Can I ask you something?" "Yes," Maya said. "Can I email you? My daughters are going to have questions, and I want to make sure I answer them right." Maya felt something warm in her chest. He wanted to get it right, wanted to learn, wanted to teach his daughters well. She nodded. "I'll give you my card." She pulled a business card from her bag, handed it to him. He looked at it carefully. "Thank you, really, for everything." "Thank you for speaking up," Maya said. "Eventually." He smiled sadly. "Eventually isn't good enough, but it's a start." Jeanette hugged Maya, the kind of hug that felt maternal. Safe. "You're going to do beautiful work tomorrow. I can feel it." "I hope so," Maya said. "I know so," Jeanette said firmly. She pulled back. "And if you ever need a witness to what happened tonight, you call me. I'll tell anyone who asks exactly what I saw." Maya's eyes burned. "Thank you." The line started moving. Passengers filed off slowly. Maya joined the line. She felt eyes on her, heard whispers. Some passengers smiled at her. Some nodded. Some looked away. She understood all of it. As she walked down the aisle, a hand touched her arm. She turned. A young black woman, maybe 25. Her eyes were wet. "Dr. Ellison, I just want to say thank you for speaking up, for not being quiet. My mother taught me to always be polite, to never make waves. But you showed me that dignity matters more than politeness." Maya felt her breath catch. "What's your name?" "Keisha." "Keisha, your mother was trying to protect you. That's what black mothers do. They teach us survival. But sometimes survival means speaking up, even when it's scary." Keisha nodded. She squeezed Maya's arm. "I won't forget tonight." "Good," Maya said. "Don't." She moved forward, off the plane, into the jetway. The air was stale, recycled, but it felt like freedom. Behind her she heard footsteps. Quick, hurried. She turned. The woman stood there. Chloe. That was her name. Maya remembered now. Chloe Hart. She looked smaller somehow, less polished, more real. "Dr. Ellison, wait, please." Maya stopped. She did not owe this woman anything, but she waited anyway. Chloe caught up. Her eyes were red. Her face was bare of the confident smile she had worn earlier. "I just wanted to say one more time, I'm sorry, and I meant what I said. I'm going to change. I'm going to do better." Maya looked at her. Really looked. Saw the youth, the privilege, the potential, the fear. She thought about what to say, what mercy with edges meant in this moment. "Chloe, the real test isn't today. It's 6 months from now, a year from now, when no one is watching, when this moment has faded, when you're comfortable again. What will you do then?" Chloe swallowed hard. "I don't know, but I want to find out. I want to be someone different than who I was tonight." "Then do the work," Maya said. "Read, listen, learn, sit with discomfort. Don't perform growth for your followers. Actually grow. How do I start? Maya felt tired. So tired of this question. But she also remembered being young, being ignorant, being given grace she did not deserve. She exhaled slowly. Start by sitting down and being quiet. Listen to people who have lived what I talked about tonight. Don't center yourself. Don't make it about your feelings. Just listen. Really listen, and let it change you. Chloe nodded. Okay, I will. Thank you. Don't thank me, Maya said. Just do it. She turned and walked away, through the jetway, into the terminal. Chloe did not follow. Maya felt relief. She had done enough. Given enough. Said enough. The rest was up to Chloe. The terminal was bright. Crowded. Maya followed signs toward baggage claim. Her phone buzzed in her pocket. She pulled it out. 57 notifications, messages, emails, missed calls. The story was spreading. She scrolled quickly. Some messages were supportive. Some were critical. Some accused her of overreacting. Some accused Chloe of racism. Some insisted race had nothing to do with it. The usual chaos of public opinion. Maya put her phone away. She did not have energy for it. Not tonight. Tomorrow she would deal with it, after the keynote, after she had rested, after she had processed what happened. She found her bag on the carousel, pulled it off, started walking toward the exit. Outside, the California night was warm. Dry. She called a car, waited at the curb, watched travelers come and go. Everyone with their own stories, their own burdens, their own destinations. Her car arrived. She got in, gave the driver her hotel address, leaned back against the seat, closed her eyes. The driver tried to make conversation. She politely declined. He turned on music instead, something soft, instrumental. It filled the silence. Maya felt her body relax slightly. The day was almost over. She had survived. More than survived. She had spoken, had stood, had refused to be erased. Her mother would be proud. Her grandmother would be proud. She was proud of herself. But pride felt complicated, mixed with exhaustion, with sadness, with anger, with hope, all of it swirling together. She let herself feel it all, did not try to organize it or make sense of it. Just let it be. The hotel appeared. She thanked the driver, walked into the lobby, checked in quickly, took the elevator to her room, unlocked the door, dropped her bag, collapsed onto the bed. Her phone buzzed again. She glanced at it. A text from the conference organizer. Just heard about your flight. Are you okay? Do you need anything? Maya stared at the message. She did not know how to answer. Was she okay? Define okay. She was alive, unharmed, but also wounded, changed, exhausted. She typed slowly. I'm okay. We'll be ready tomorrow. She put the phone on the nightstand, pulled off her shoes, lay back on the bed fully clothed, stared at the ceiling, thought about the keynote, about what she would say, about how she would begin. The words came to her suddenly, clear, certain. Once, on a flight, that was how she would start. With truth, with specificity, with the lived reality of what dignity cost. She reached for her notebook, wrote the opening paragraph. Let it flow, let tonight inform tomorrow, let pain transform into purpose. Her hand moved quickly, the words poured out. Raw, real, necessary. When she finished, she read it back. Her chest tightened. It was good. It was true. It was exactly what needed to be said. She set the notebook aside, turned off the light, let darkness fill the room. But she did not sleep yet. She lay in the darkness and thought about Chloe, about whether she would really change, about whether one moment could alter a trajectory. She wanted to believe it could, wanted to believe people could grow, wanted to believe that speaking truth created transformation. But she also knew that change was rare. hard, easily abandoned. Most people returned to comfort, to habit, to the version of themselves that required less work. She hoped Chloe would be different, but hope was not certainty. Her phone lit up one more time. She almost ignored it, but curiosity pulled her hand toward it. She picked it up, unlocked it, saw a notification from Chloe's social media. She hesitated, then clicked. The video was titled, "The Day I Became Accountable." Chloe's face filled the screen. No filters, no perfect lighting. Just her, looking directly at the camera, looking scared but determined. Maya watched, listened, heard Chloe tell the whole story, unedited, uncensored, including the slavery comment, including her dismissiveness, including everything that made her look terrible. And then she watched Chloe say the words Maya needed to hear. "I'm not asking you to forgive me. I'm not asking you to support me. I'm asking you to learn from my mistake, to examine your own behavior, to think about who you're stepping on without noticing. And I'm promising that I'm going to do the work. Really do it. Even when it's uncomfortable, especially when it's uncomfortable." The video ended. Maya stared at her phone. Comments were flooding in, some supportive, some angry, some confused. Chloe was losing followers by the hundreds, but she was also gaining something else: integrity, accountability, the possibility of real growth. Maya set her phone down. She felt something shift in her chest. Not forgiveness, but acknowledgement. Chloe had done what she asked, had told the truth, had taken responsibility, had chosen growth over comfort. Whether it would last remained to be seen. But tonight, it was real. Maya closed her eyes. Finally let sleep come. Her last thought before darkness took her was simple, clear, certain. Justice is not clean or quick, but tonight it was possible. Maya's alarm chimed at 7. She opened her eyes to sunlight streaming through the curtains. Her body ached. Her throat was dry. Her mind was alert. Today was the day. She showered, let the hot water wash away the residue of last night, dressed carefully, the same navy blazer. White, blouse, gold earrings, professional, composed. But underneath, she felt raw, changed. She ordered coffee and toast from room service, sat by the window and watched Los Angeles wake up. Cars filled the streets below, people rushed to work. Life continued, ordinary, relentless, unaware of what had happened at 30,000 feet. Her phone buzzed. She glanced at it. Messages from friends, colleagues, people she had not spoken to in years, all wanting to know if she was okay, all wanting to express support, all wanting something from her. She answered a few, ignored most. She did not have energy for everyone's emotions. She needed to conserve her strength for the keynote, for 500 people, for the moment that mattered. At 8:30, she gathered her things, her notes, her computer, her ID badge. She took the elevator down, walked through the lobby. The conference center was connected to the hotel. She followed signs, found the registration desk. A young woman looked up and smiled. "Dr. Ellison, we're so honored to have you. Your keynote is in the grand ballroom, 9 o'clock. Everything is set up and ready." Maya nodded. "Thank you." "Are you okay?" the woman asked. "We heard about your flight. That must have been so difficult." Maya felt tired suddenly. Everyone wanted to know if she was okay, as if okay was simple, as if trauma had clean edges. She forced a smile. "I'm fine, just ready to speak." She walked toward the ballroom, stopped outside the doors, heard the murmur of voices inside. 500 people, waiting, expecting, wanting wisdom, wanting hope, wanting answers. She closed her eyes, breathed deeply, thought about her mother, her grandmother, all the women who had carried this weight before her. She was not alone. had never been alone. Their strength lived in her bones. She opened the doors. The ballroom was massive, rows and rows of chairs, all filled. People looked up as she entered. Some recognized her, whispered to neighbors. Others simply waited. Curious, open. The conference organizer rushed over. "Dr. Ellison, thank you for being here. Are you ready?" "Yes," Maya said. And she was. She walked toward the stage, climbed the steps, stood at the podium. The lights were bright. She could see the first few rows clearly. Beyond that, faces blurred together. Anonymous, expectant. The room quieted. Someone introduced her, listed her credentials, her books, her achievements. The words washed over her. She was not those things. She was just Maya, a woman who had refused to be stepped on. The introduction ended. Applause filled the room. Maya stepped forward, gripped the podium, looked out at 500 faces. Her voice was steady when she spoke. Once, on a flight, she told them everything. The foot, the comments, the confrontation, the speech, the apology, the long night. She did not soften it, did not academicize it, did not distance herself from the pain. She spoke it raw, real, true. The room was utterly silent. People leaned forward. Some were crying, some were nodding, some looked uncomfortable. She kept going, kept naming what had happened, kept insisting on the truth. When she finished the story, she paused. Let it land. Then she said the words she had written last night in the darkness. Justice is not clean or quick, but every time someone chooses to step off another person's dignity, the world tilts a little more toward wholeness. She looked out at the crowd, saw faces, really saw them. Black, white, brown, Asian, old, young, all of them carrying something, all of them needing to hear this. She continued, I don't know if my speaking up last night will create lasting change. I don't know if that young woman will really do the work. I don't know if the bystanders who finally spoke will speak up sooner next time, but I know this. Silence is complicity, and I'm done being silent. The applause started before she finished. Building, growing, becoming something bigger. People stood, one by one, a standing ovation, not for her credentials, not for her achievements, for her courage, for her truth, for her refusal to shrink. Maya felt tears on her face. She did not wipe them away. She stood at the podium and let herself cry. Let herself be seen. Let herself be human. The applause continued, wave after wave, affirming, validating, witnessing. When it finally ended, people rushed forward, wanting to thank her, to share their stories, to tell her about their own moments of being stepped on. She listened, held space, bore witness, and in the back row, almost hidden, she saw a familiar face, blonde hair, red eyes. Chloe Hart sat quietly, taking notes, not filming, not performing, just listening, really listening. Their eyes met across the room. Chloe nodded once, a small acknowledgement. Maya nodded back. Not friendship, not forgiveness, but recognition. They had both been changed by what happened, and they were both still learning what that meant. The world kept spinning. The conference continued. Maya gave interviews, answered questions, signed books, ordinary things. But underneath everything, she felt different. Lighter. More herself. That night, back in her hotel room, she called her best friend, told her everything, cried, laughed, processed. Her friend listened, asked the right questions, reminded her that she was loved, that she was enough, that she had done something important. When they hung up, Maya lay in bed and thought about tomorrow, about flying home, about returning to normal life, about carrying this experience forward. She did not know what would come next, But she knew something had shifted. In her, in Chloe, in everyone who witnessed. Her phone buzzed one final time. A text from Tom. "My daughters watched your keynote online. They want you to know you're their hero. Mine too." Maya smiled, typed back, "Tell them to use their voices, even when it's scary, especially then." She put the phone down, turned off the light. Let sleep come naturally this time. No weight on her chest, no fear in her throat, just rest, earned, deserved, necessary. And in the darkness, she whispered to the women who came before her. "I held my head up, Mama, just like you taught me. I didn't break." The stars outside her window kept shining. The world kept turning. And Maya finally knew she was enough.